What's up, everybody? Back to another stream. We've got stream number 23, my lucky number. Okay, 23 is my absolute favorite number, and not because of that movie. Actually, before that movie even came out. So when that movie came out, I was like, "Oh my god!" Um, but yeah, 23rd stream. Technically, it's not because I had part one and part two a couple times, but yesterday we had legitimately no viewers. I think we had one viewer, but it just it was just a scam thing, I think. That's weird. My chat's not opening up for some reason. Huh. Like I said, it wouldn't be a stream without some freaking technical difficulties. Come on, what is up with the chat? Okay, there we go. Chat is live. Woo! Alright, let me bring up audio. We're good on that. And all right, so I'm gonna start off. We're gonna do some painting again. I'm loving the way this came out. It's really hard for me to get this to show up correctly because the lighting's making it super glossy. I've tried to set this camera up like 15 different times before I started, so that's the best I can get it. However, um, I do love the way these outlines are coming. So let's watch some YouTube. Have a nice little relaxing morning. Stream together. And don't forget to hit that follow button if you are watching, because we're halfway to 10 followers. Heck yeah. And you'll get your name at the end of the video during the sick ass outro. So, yeah, if you can, hit that follow button. Actually, we have 7 subs on YouTube now. We got one more. Subs are really hard to see on YouTube. You actually can't see their name. I guess you used to be able to, but yeah, you can't do that anymore. So I can't tell who is following or subscribed. I just know how many, which is fine. But at least on Twitch, I can have this little goal thing above me. But yeah. All right. Oh, let me back to sources, YouTube browser. Interact. Let's go ahead and interact. All right, I want to watch Dawood does tech stuff. Forgot to do the damn linking again. Try to do that later. All right. Shout out to Dawood.
According to the Steam hardware survey, the core components in this system is what you're using right now to watch this video, unless you're on the toilet watching it on your phone, which is equally as likely. But if you're using a computer, you have this hardware. And if you don't have the hardware components in here, then I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure this is how stats work.
That too
It
low?
means that you don't exist. So you should probably have that checked out. And while you're busy figuring that problem out for yourself, the rest of us are gonna see what kind of gaming experience you get with the most common components in the most common games. Because I want to get to know the gaming experience that you're having at the moment a little bit better. You know, maybe we can snuggle up on the couch after and discuss some game settings. But before we do that, today's video is sponsored by Be Quiet's brand new Light Loop AIOs. If you want
I thought he
some
was
pump
married.
block illumination, then here you go. This is the AIO for you. It's about as RGB as a pump block can get, and despite its charisma boost, it hasn't sacrificed in its performance stat. It's also got a fill port which helps with long-term maintenance. Very cool. Available in both black, white, and in sizes up to 360mm. So if you want an AIO to strap a window AC to, check out Be Quiet's new Light Loop AIOs using the link down below. Wow, I just recorded this whole section and my mic was off. I am a professional. I'm good at this. Now, first off, we want to have a look at the Steam
I see
hardware
this.
survey
I
to
do.
know what
Well, actually, I
system
don't
we
think the
need to
camera can
use.
pick that
And
up.
we're
I
going to
thought it was
start
pretty
off
good.
with
It's probably
operating
good that the
system, which
quality isn't
this
this
wasn't a
great,
surprise to
because
me at all.
oh
Windows
damn,
11 at
everywhere I'm gonna be painting is literally
48.8%,
like
which is up
not.
1.11%. So it's won over a little bit more market share
Oh
from
no, it is
Windows
there.
10, which is the second most popular, at 45.46. They're very close, and basically we're all using Windows. One of those two. It's all of us. Very good news is that OS X, just 1.39% of Steam
Man, I
users
really need
are
that
on a Mac,
flow
which
aid
suck
stuff.
at
Oh wait,
Apple.
I
You're
think I
losing
do
at
have
something,
some.
and I hope that keeps you up at night. And then finally, Linux. Just 2% of people are gaming on Linux, which is kind of
Actually,
funny
what
to me. And
the
also, I said it correctly, which I
is
think
that
means I deserve a
means that
sub off that. Yes, Linux.
so,
Linux. Next up, we want to see how much ROM people are using these
I
days,
mean, I
and
get that
this
they're
one's
just
also
like it's
quite
like a
predictable at
professional thing,
16
but
gigs. Although what is interesting about this result to me is that it's gone up,
it
and
does
the
sound
second most
wrong.
popular,
I have to
32
say.
gigs, it's actually gone down. So I guess that means people are
Here we
downgrading
go,
from
gonna
32
put
gigs to 16 gigs.
some.
So either one of your
I'll
sticks
call
of
it
RAM
flow
died, or
aid
you need
instead
the
of
3 cents that exchange is
what
going
it's
to net
called.
you for like a Genshin Impact loot boxes or whatever. Now next up is CPUs, which we're going
This
to need
stuff
to do
works
a little bit
great
of
though.
investigation here, because Steam's a little
Basically,
bit vague
oh,
about it.
let me
It
pause
tells
it.
us that, you know, the split between Intel and AMD and whatever, but it doesn't give us specific product SKUs.
So basically, the way this stuff works is, because I was talking over the video, I might as well explain it. So the stuff is called retarder, and the ER got uh like wiped off of this. So yeah, every time I pick that up, it just straight up insults me. So, but I don't know if you can see the difference, but like almost with less paint on my brush, I'm able to. It just makes it glide, and it keeps it from drying. Like, because acrylic paint tends to dry extremely fast. So, if you ever want to paint and have a like an oil painting steel, you can use regular acrylic with a little bit of this stuff, or I believe Liquitex calls it Flow Aid. Golden calls it retarder, and Golden also makes this stuff, which I actually don't know if they make it anymore. I kind of hope they do because it's awesome and it works really well. Is this stuff Golden Open Acrylics? So they basically made a formulation of acrylics that works pretty much exactly like oil paint, and you have to use like their thinner. And here's some of it. You can kind of, it's hard to tell on camera, but you can kind of tell when it's sitting there, um, how it kind of acts, you know? Oh, let me switch back on. Oh, let me check the chat real quick. Oh shit, hey! What's up, big guy? Thanks, man. Thanks for joining again. You are always freaking on top of it, dude. I really appreciate it. Just doing a quick morning stream, doing some painting, YouTube. Um, I might do Call of Duty later today, though. Um, I've got a few things I gotta take care of again. Unfortunately, my mom rolled her ankle while going down the stairs. Luckily, it was just like a three-stair thing and fell. And she really messed up her ankle, so I gotta bring her to the doctor later, checked out, because I don't think it's broken, because I don't think she would be able to walk, or like, I mean, she can't really walk, but I don't think you would be able to put like any weight at all on it. And she can put a little bit of weight. So and she bruises so easily, so it probably looks a lot worse than it is, but obviously we want to go and make sure there's no like hairline fracture or something. But yeah, so probably be leaving in a little bit and getting that all figured out. And then later today, probably do another stream. Finally getting into the painting part of the streams where I can actually kind of focus on it. Because I don't know, I've been having trouble focusing on painting while streaming. But yeah, how's your day going, big guy? It's got to be like the middle of the day there right now, right? I always forget if your time zone is the one that's ahead of mine or behind. Like I can't remember if it's the middle of the night there for you or if it's like the middle of the day in the afternoon. Pretty crazy how time zones work, you know? All right, I'm gonna throw this on.
use. So we're gonna have to figure that out. This result was interesting to me because 65.49% of people are still using Intel, and it's only down 1.21%, which doesn't make sense to me considering that the company has been
Wait,
actively imploding
wait, when I raise my volume on my headphones, does that raise the volume on the
for the last year, but apparently that doesn't impact their market share very much. Also, Microsoft making some fat gains here. Now, in terms of cores, 6
Oh
cores
no, it's
is the
not.
most
Okay.
popular. Although this is down, people do seem to be upgrading CPU cores while downgrading RAM. That's a bit weird because, you know, the people who upgraded their cores are definitely the ones that downgraded their RAM. Now, the next CPU metric is speed, which is a little bit of an arbitrary thing for me to have them measure. Like, is it boost frequency? Although, considering the most popular result being 2.3 gigahertz to 2.69 gigahertz, nice, I don't know,
Hmm.
I think that means it's base frequency. And that implies we're looking at an i5 of some description. So I decided to go with an Intel i5 12400. It meets our specs perfectly, and it's a very popular CPU that I think represents modern
Damn.
i5 performance very well. Now with
I just realized I should probably cut my nails. um I don't have many phobias. I probably have two phobias, like true phobias, but one of them is crickets, black crickets. I those things just I don't know what it is. And cutting fingernails or cutting nails in general it really bothers me. So, I've gotten over it for the most no, I haven't. That's a lie. I've been managing it as well as I can, but the funny part is that because of me not cutting my nails like, you know, consistently throughout my whole life, they have become like claws when I grow them out. So like I probably have the strongest nails like for a guy because they've always been growing out like super strong. So I've always joked that it's my defense. I don't have to carry like a knife or a gun. I can just scratch people. I'm Catman. But yeah, I'm gonna definitely cut them because I just realized I'm doing like up close painting, and you can definitely see my nails, and it probably looks like a girl is painting with giant hands. Like I said before, I am not looking to create a character of myself or like whatever with streaming. I know a lot of streamers do that, but I don't think I have the energy to keep up a character. You know what I mean? I don't know how those guys do that. and then they turn it off after the string goes off. You know, like I'd rather be as real as I possibly can be. Just a normal dude. Well, definitely not normal, but eccentric dude that just wants to chill. The chill zone. That's what I honestly wanted to name this channel at first, but I think it was already taken, and it would have had to been like the chill zone, like 1 point something, or you know what I mean. So I figured I'd do a little play on my name. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I would rather people figure that out. Um, wow, that doesn't even look like green. What the heck? These lines right here are green. Hmm. I might have to change the settings on the camera. Oh, you know what it is? There's a filter on it. I forgot about that. Hang on, let me continue the video.
Graphics cards, luckily Steam is a little bit less opaque with it. It just tells you what the graphics card is. And it's an RTX 3060, which I think makes sense. 5.59% of people have one of those, which that's quite a big market share for a single graphics card to have, even though it's down minus 0.1%. The second most popular, which is also down for some reason, is a laptop RTX 4060, followed by a desktop 4060. And then the fourth entry is the GTX 1650, which for a very long time was the most popular Steam graphics card. In fact, for a while, I was convinced there was a natural geyser somewhere that just produces them because they were very readily available. A sad part of the GPU market share is there's no AMD. People really don't like AMD very much. In fact, there's a lot more Intel iGPU than any AMD.
Man, that is not coming up at all.
So we should probably think about that. That's a bit of a bad result. Moving on, video memory, or VRAM for short if you're from the streets. 8 gigs is the most popular. Now, fun fact, in terms of video memory, 0.66% of you still have 128 megs of video memory, which, now that I've said it out loud, that's not really a fun fact. That's quite sad. 128 megs is very, very little. I hope things get better for you. it's not great. I think it may have something to do with iGPUs, but still, that is a higher percentage than I was expecting. The final important performance one is resolution. And if you can't guess what this one is, then it means that you're probably a normal person and not a massive nerd like I am. But it's 1080p at 56.98% market share. Right. Now again, this stat is interesting because it's gone up by 1.25%, whereas the second most popular, which is 1440p and the kind of like upgrade of it, which has gone down by 1.7%. And considering that like 4K and ultra wide and stuff hasn't also gone up, the implication here, at least as far as I understand how to read data, is that you're all downgrading from 1440p to 1080p. Is that what's happening? Like, let me know in the comment section down below if you're doing that. That is an interesting thing. We have seen a bit of a trend of specs getting a little bit worse over time, except for CPU cores. You all love some CPU cores. Now, the final two stats aren't super important, but they're interesting. Languages, the most popular is Chinese, but it's actually down 3%, which is a huge change, and English is up almost 2%. So I guess a bunch of people who speak Chinese have become English, is the takeaway from that. And then finally, hard drives. So if I'm the most popular hard drive capacity, like total capacity for your system, is 1 terabyte. Right, although that's also down 0.81%. So a bunch of us had hard drives die in the last while, which condolences, that's a little bit sad. And yeah, with that, we know what system we need to build. So let's throw all of the components into the PC and then see how it runs.
It's always got that funky 80s.
Now, a quick point in terms of our RAM configuration. Steam doesn't specify speed or even type of RAM, so I've used DDR4 running at 3600 MHz, but we'll see what slower RAM does to our performance a bit later. Counter-Strike will never go away. It is always
Oh my God,
number one. It is going to be the king of gaming for as long as we live. It runs really well. It's a super easy to run game. We're getting 300 to
so we need to
100.
figure
We're getting
out a
between
color
200
to
and
go
300
around
frames
this
per second
blue
at
here.
1080p. This is with low settings. This
then
is
around
how I understand you should play the game. Although, look at what's
think what
happening
we're gonna
here.
do-
In terms of utilization, there's not a whole lot going on, and that means that we're not getting that much of frame rate. And my theory for why this was happening was that CS2 was choking out just one of the cores on our CPU. So to see if this was correct, I brought up utilization for all of the cores. So in terms of CPU utilization, you can see that most of the hyper-threading cores aren't really doing much, and most of the load is on CPU 1. That's the thing that is working the hardest here. Now it could be worse, but 76% is pretty high utilization for a CPU core, so it's likely the reason we're not getting more utilization and more frame rate, but the game is running very well. We may not be breaking the sound barrier with frame rate, but it's more than good enough. So I decided to drop the RAM speed to 2666 MHz to see what impact that has on the performance. And just that change lost us over 10% of our performance, which isn't insignificant.
Okay, this paint's fucked.
This is still a thing. We're still doing this, are we? That's very fun. Banana. So Banana's happening at 60 frames per second. Clearly a very demanding game. Halloween graphics really just making the system work. No. We gotta crank it up to 1080p. Suspiciously blurry Banana happening, but it sits at 60 frames per second. So if you are a Banana enthusiast, which apparently it's the second most popular game on Steam, so you
need liquid
statistically are
white.
very likely
That's
to
my
be a Banana
problem.
enthusiast. The
God,
system
is this,
handles it very well.
Heavy bar.
Now with Dota, we're not going to get into too much detail here because it's a game that you can run on a 70s Casio ARM watch. But here it's running at 1080p with the settings maxed out. And we're kind of hovering around 200 frames per second, which is where the game lives, pretty much. Even here, with all of the particle effects happening, it's still running very well. So the 3060 handles the crap out of this game. I do want to test all of these games with the 1650 later in the video, just so that we can see how much more performance.
I have to say, one of the things that was really keeping me from streaming before was like, well, number one, I didn't have a good enough computer. Like I had a really old laptop at the time, like a few months ago. And then I got this laptop. And this is just like I mean, I wouldn't say like cheap, but like a 500, I think it was like four or $500 HP laptop. Like a newer one with like Windows 11 and like the AI crap in it, which I didn't really think too much about. But honestly, that shit has come in handy. That Copilot thing is how I make all my thumbnails, and it's actually helped me with a few things. So pretty sick. But I really did not think that this laptop would be able to run all the stuff I needed to stream. So like, and it's like not having any issues with it. I've tried playing some games on here, like just like natively, and it can't handle like crazy games, but like it handles them enough. Um, and like I edited all this on a free program, which I thought was hilarious, and yeah, got my background looking dope. Actually, 1 second, I do see a problem. Why is the chat cutting off right there like that? I'll play this
We've
while I'm
gotten
doing it.
since that was the most popular graphics card. We've got a couple more games to go before that. Call of Duty is interesting because I've not tested it in ages, and the first thing I learned about it was that downloading it is super annoying. It downloads in several phases, so every time you finish your 100 gig download thinking it's done, it just jumps another one on you, which is really fun.
That's weird.
But once I got into Call of Duty 17 Black Ops 12, it ran decently. Now at 1080p balanced, it's running pretty well. We're hovering about 90 frames per second. It varies, but that's
Okay,
kind
that
of where
looks
it's
better.
averaging. And yeah, for single player, it feels pretty good. Although, I would probably want a bit more frame
X
rate
gonna
for
give
a
it to you.
fast-paced game like this, playing multiplayer, but I'll try that out a bit later. First, I'm curious to see what the different settings do. I then switched over to the recommended preset, which pushed the settings quite a bit higher and still left it at native 1080p. Oh wow, that's a big dip in frame rate. It seems like recommended's kind of targeting 60 frames per second, which, I mean, console-wise, I guess makes sense. It feels okay, but it's not quite as snappy as I'd like. I then jumped into a multiplayer lobby where it was definitely playable at recommended settings, but this is not how I would recommend running the game.
Yeah.
I then dropped the settings to basic, which netted me some frame rate, but it still wasn't running as fast as I wanted it to. So I turned
Yeah, one weird thing I really don't understand is who is out there playing these games in what is it, fidelity mode? I feel like what game would you I'm trying to think of a game out there that you could play that you would want to play, eh, but like you would want it to look better than the frame rate being 60 and being fluid. Trying to think of a game that you would want. Like I was thinking maybe like it's a racing game. No, you would want 60 frames a second. You want that fluid, fast motion. And I'm like thinking like the only reason people would put that on is like literally for 5 seconds to like show your friends, like, ooh, look at the reflections in this. And then you go to play and it's locked at 30 frames a second and you're like, wow, this is really stuttery and choppy, but it looks great. That just seems stupid to me. I've always put it on performance mode or whatever the thing is called to put it into 60 frames a second because and I never understood why they couldn't combine them. I guess they couldn't because it's just so much like compute, but now they have and supposedly that's what the PS5 Pro is. But I don't believe that. And the more videos I watch on the PS5 Pro, the more I'm realizing it's literally just a PS5 with a little bit of an upgraded chip that gives I don't even want to say a boost, but it gives it a slight uptick that isn't even like viewable by your human eye, or is, but you would have to keep stopping the game to like point it out and compare it to like another PS5. So I don't get why they did that. Um, I never understand these companies. Like, obviously, it's all about money, and like I'm sure some of these companies are run by people who have no idea what the consumer actually wants. But dude, like the Switch 2, the Super Switch, whatever you call it, I think they should call it the Super Switch. That's fucking genius. Um, People have been wanting that for 2 years. Um, like there's so many things out there that people are consistently asking for, and then the company releases something completely not what anybody asked for. Like I remember that when the PlayStation Portal came out first, they were like, "Okay, what?" Now I know Xbox is supposed to be coming out with a handheld, which would be cool, but like already there's so many handhelds that can just go into Xbox Cloud, which is probably what it would have to do, right? So everything is an Xbox basically. I guess that was their whole point in that, which is cool and everything. But yeah, Super Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, like they have the Portal, but they like the Vita. People love that shit. Or the was it the Vita or the I always mix those two up. Was it the Vita and the fuck? The Vita and the I can't remember. All right, let's finish out this video. Um, and then I'm gonna do what I wanted to do yesterday and show some artists that I like on my Instagram.
turned on DLSS at balanced, which looked decent and ran very well. And with DLSS on, you can jump the settings up a decent bit again if you want to do that, but either way, this game seems pretty reliant on upscaling. And then finally, the number 5 spot, again, it's been here for ages, PUBG. This is it running at 1080p high settings, and it's not going as good as I was expecting. I mean, this is a huge view, but we're getting under 100 frames per second. Ooh, and that utilization is also not going great, although it's PUBG, so a lack of optimization kind of checks out. Let's see what happens when we use like Fortnite settings, drop everything to low, and just have super view distance. Okay, that's helped a bit, although it does vary wildly based on what we're looking at. Now, in looking at what all of the cores are doing, it's a little different to what CS2 is doing. We've got a bit more of a spread of utilization over all of the cores. But yeah, I mean, it's PUBG. This game is pretty much renowned for its lack of optimization. And either way, it's still running very well. And then the final thing I wanted to do was drop a GTX 1650 into the system to see how far we've come in most popular graphics card performance. And the difference was interesting, because with CS2, it wasn't that big a gap because there were other constraints holding the system back, so it's not as devastating a humiliation as you'd expect. Whereas with a demanding game like Call of Duty 47, the difference is huge, it's more than double. And with that, my main takeaway from this video is that Activision needs to figure out its Call of Duty downloading situation, because this madness is an abomination and they should be ashamed of themselves. Which brings me to the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, watch another video, a suggestion will pop up, subscribe to the channel, and until the next one.
Yeah, it should work. Ooh. Oh, he's got a dope outro. How do I get it to where they can, the video comes up like that? The whole Twitch landscape is, a little confusing to navigate, I gotta say. Oh man, I wish I knew where this color purple's from. I don't have enough of this. It's not gonna work. Damn. Although, kind of like this color. You know what? Let's try mixing it. It's almost like blue. Throw a little recard in there. I'm not using it that way. It's the name of the stuff. Not canceling me over that. Imagine if I got canceled over the name of my my paint additive. All right. Instead of me just sitting here looking straight down, mixing paints, I should probably play another video, huh? Damn, I'm still sleeping. All right. Oh, okay. YouTube browser. Oh, well. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? All right, UFD Tech. Shout out UFD Tech.
PlayStation Portal becomes not useless. Nvidia gets better on Linux, and they get more expensive. They're going to cost more. Let's get into the hot news, everybody. I'm your Brett host. We're going to be going over the hottest tech news that I could find on the internet while you enjoy your breakfast this Thursday, November 21st, 2024. We're going to start off today talking about a little update that Sony made to the PlayStation Portal, giving it more functionality. Some people would say functionality it should have had at launch, but roughly a year out from when it debuted, it can now actually stream games from the cloud, not just from your local PS5. You do have to have a PS Plus subscription, but that gives you access to over 120 titles that you can stream to the device over Wi-Fi so that you can use it while on the go. The Dad Station 5 getting a major upgrade. However, Sony does note that this is still in beta. But that's not the only change that came came with the Portal 4.0 firmware update. Kyler actually told me that this was a big deal for how he uses his PlayStation Portal, and that is they've adjusted the volume level of the speaker, which doesn't sound like a big deal, but the lowest volume level on the PlayStation Portal is too dang loud, and so they've made it so that the volume level can go down so that it's
like
a little bit more tolerable when you're just trying to play games at night in bed next to your significant other and they don't want to hear all of that. So good changes to the Dad Station 5. I like to see that all of this is happening, but as I'm predicting the comments right now, you're into PC gaming. I get it, which is why, for PC gamers, I'm bringing you today's video sponsor. While building a PC can be fun, it can be intimidating and definitely not for everyone. For a lot of PC gamers out there, they just want something that's ready to game. Thanks to today's sponsor, Jawa, you can choose from hundreds of sellers building custom gaming PCs. With prices better than other pre-built companies, Jawa's builds deliver great quality with
I swear to God, if I ever become successful enough with this that I can build a PC or get a gaming PC for this channel, I am building that on here. I love putting things together. That is it's actually weird to me when I hear people say they don't like to assemble stuff. That's my favorite part about getting stuff. Like if we get a bookshelf or something, if I get a bookshelf, I don't know why I'm saying we. If I get a bookshelf or a cabinet or something, wow, I messed that up. I am talking way too much. I pretty much I want to put it together. I love putting anything together. Even if it takes forever, I love it. Whole process of I don't know. And when you put stuff together, you kind of see how it was built and how it works from a different point of view. So I feel like if anything happens in the future, you kind of have a better idea of what could possibly be going on, you know? Oh, that's just my thought. I know some people would rather just, if there's a problem with something, they'll just call someone. I tend to try to fix it and learn how to fix it as I'm going. I don't know. I feel like learning is just something that you need to constantly be doing. A lot of people in my life always say that I have an answer for everything, or I know so many facts for no reason, which is true, but I like to say that I know a lot about a little. Or no, sorry, other way around. I know a little bit about a lot. So I'm not an expert on anything, but I can tell you about it. It's actually kind of funny. There's been very rare times that I've actually been completely stumped on something. Usually I can come up with kind of an idea that's generally in the right direction of what the answer is, but yeah, there's not many times that I get completely stumped. But yeah.
Off-the-shelf components powering your custom gaming system. Best of all, you don't have to plug anything in except the power cable to the wall. Jawa's PC Finder makes it easy to find your ideal PC based on your budget and what games you're looking to play. Searching for a Fortnite-capable PC in the $700 to $1,500 range and allowing for used parts gave us some great options, like this $1,150 PC with a 7600X and a 4060 Ti 8K. The PC we found is also listed from one of Jawa's verified sellers, meaning the team at Jawa has taken the time to ensure that this is a trusted seller who can deliver amazing value for both completed builds and individual components. Once you get your PC, you might also have some questions. Thankfully, Jawa has a huge community on Discord with over 10,000 members that can offer great advice to both first-time buyers and fellow enthusiasts who are just in a pickle. Make your PC gaming experience easy with a pre-built PC from Jawa today by clicking the link in the description below. You gotta stay tuned from November 6th through the end of the year for great deals on Jawa, and be sure to create an account and subscribe for flash sales, giveaways, and deals this holiday season, and keep a special eye out from November 22nd through the 20th.
You know what I need to do? I need to make a notification that says when I am live on my art Facebook page, because I feel like people would probably tune in if they actually knew this was happening. Um, one sec. It's weird because I did actually post a link to this. What the fuck? But this has my oh, you know what? I put the wrong YouTube link on that. That's probably why. Or wait, no, that does seem right. I just want the Twitch one on there. All right. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm gonna put it up. I'm live right now. Hi, everyone. I'm live right now on Twitch and YouTube. Doing some painting and reacting. Come stop by. And don't forget to don't forget to flash sub. Thanks. Okay. I'm just gonna put my Twitch link. Twitch.com/good bad man. Okay. There we go. That'd be cool if somebody stopped by. Uh-oh. What did I do? All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Sorry. I know nobody can see what I'm doing right now. I'm just looks like I'm pushing buttons on something. I'm trying to get my fuck.
29s for incredible
There we
deals
go.
on builds, components, and peripherals for Jawa's deals of the day. Well, we're probably not going to see Qualcomm devices on Jawa anytime soon just because they're not really out in the market. However, Qualcomm CEO wants us to know that they're going to be a big deal. He came out and said that they should be at about $4 billion in sales by 2029, which is exactly what AMD did just last year. So they're trying to say that they're going to be a major player in the market moving forward, especially with their new Snapdragon X Elite chips. They're so fast, it's really good. However, you have to reckon with the fact that number one, X Elite chips just kind of didn't perform up to snuff, especially in the graphics department, which is why yesterday they came out with a new graphics driver update for these Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite chips, only if you have a Microsoft Surface device. So it looks like their graphics drivers are going to be partitioned based on which OEM you're using, which is something that happens in certain sectors. It kind of happens in things like gaming handhelds, like they're more device specific, but typically, you know, with AMD drivers on a laptop, you're just installing the generic one. NVIDIA's the generic one, but no, Qualcomm Snapdragon X Elite for Microsoft Surface devices only is what got the improvements to things like gaming, productivity, all of that, unless you listen to people who installed it on Reddit and they said that it didn't change anything. So Qualcomm obviously has a ways to go before we could even think that they're gonna come close to what AMD is doing now. I would like to see it. I wanna see more competition. Obviously, we also have MediaTek and NVIDIA.
Man, I really wish I could just put some music on. That is one thing that drives me nuts about streaming. Is like not being able to put music on because it's gonna get freaking copyrighted and then the entire stream is gonna be muted. And I'll be like, what do I do now? So maybe I don't know, I'll look into it more. Because I really wish I could react to music. If I can't, I was thinking about putting up a thing somewhere that I have space that or like in the chat maybe that just shows like I don't know. I wanted to like do a thing where I pick, you know, I guess like a music of the stream or music of the day, movie of the day. Um, I don't know, just stuff like that to like open people to new stuff or to try new stuff, and then have a section of the stream where every like if there's ever anybody, you know, in here enough to like make a poll and do it that way and like poll everybody on like what they want to see next. Actually, look at I even got this thing. 1 second. Oh, I even got this thing so that when people follow or subscribe, I can write it down, or I could just like write, you know, funny stuff on here. I thought that would be cool. Where'd the paintbrush go? I lost the paintbrush. Uh-oh. Oh no, there it is. Back to the video before I forget.
Marching down the reins to potentially bring us some sort of competitor to Intel and AMD as well. I want to see it, but it's been a hot mess so far, which is also what happened with a couple game launches yesterday. Microsoft Flight Simulator and Stalker 2 came out yesterday and didn't go well. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 was a big deal because one of the things that it's known for is that it streams the data.
I thought Stalker 2 came out like years ago.
And you have to download the game via the in-game service. So that caused some strain on the servers, which made it so that people couldn't actually play the game. Too many users trying to connect at the same time. They were suffering from success. They would get it so that it could get into the game, but then they couldn't actually proceed with the download, and it made it so that it was very difficult. People would get to 97% completion, and then it would stop, making it a whole buggy mess, and essentially something that Microsoft created themselves by forcing this new download scheme within Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. But also another disappointment that came out yesterday was Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. A lot of people have been anticipating this sequel for well over a decade. It's had multiple delays and finally released yesterday. And the Metacritic score is showing about a 74, but based on the takes that I saw on the internet.
Didn't that, I swear to God, that game came out like a year ago. Maybe I thought it was Stalker 2. Maybe it was Stalker 1? I'm a little confused, but that's okay. Maybe he'll explain it.
Mostly it's a gorgeous game with tons of bugs, lots of hiccups, lots of issues. I've seen some people say it's boring. I've seen some people critique the gameplay. I went on the Stalker 2 subreddit to kind of understand what do fans of the original Stalker think, and the sentiment that I got from Stalker 1 fans was, we're so back, baby. This is exactly what we expected. A buggy mess. We love this game. So let me know what you think of Stalker 2 or Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Yeah, I don't know if Stalker is like one of those games that gets modded like crazy, but I'm sure that's probably why they're excited, because then they get to just mod it like crazy. I don't know. That's just my idea. I've never played it.
Simulator 2024 if you tried to get into that. I want to hear from you down below in the comments while Reese brings you the deals today.
Yo, welcome back to Yifty Deals, bringing the hottest tech deals out on the internet. And you know what we do here? It's deals. Starting off today, we have this Corsair IQ Link H170i. This absolutely massive 420mm AIO CPU liquid cooler is going for only $99.99, making it $100 off. Seriously, before you even consider buying this thing, just make sure it will fit in your computer, because that's our big boy. But then next up, we have the ever-reliable Apple AirPods Pro 2. I daily drive these things just because they're so convenient and they work seamlessly between my devices. But you can pick one up for only $159.99, making it $90 off. And then lastly, for those looking for an alternative to the ASRock monitor we showed off yesterday, you can grab LG's take on it. This LG 34-inch 1440p 160Hz curved ultra-wide nano IPS gaming monitor is going for only $329, making it $420 off. And hey, with that, the deals are done. You can find these and more linked in the video description down below. But until next time, I'm gonna hand you off back to Brett for the rest of your hot news.
See, if this does end up going anywhere with the streaming thing, that's really all I need is like a microphone, like a boom mic, a tripod, and I mean maybe down the road like an actual computer, so I could actually run like games natively off of here instead of having to. Oh, and that dock. Actually, that's the first thing I need. I need a USB-C dock with HDMI in, because then I could just plug my Xbox directly into the computer instead of having to stream it to a freaking satellite and then back down here to go to something that's 2 feet away from me. That's a lot of pointing. All right.
Cheers.
Well, Reese, Valve's given us a great deal when it comes to gaming on Linux. They're implementing a new update to Proton, making it so that it actually works better with NVIDIA. NVIDIA's DLSS 3 getting an update in the latest Proton experimental patch, making it so that optical flow and frame generation now work. Now, a lot of people don't want those fake frames. I completely understand, but this is just showing that Valve is committed to making gaming on Linux more and more accessible, even when their own Linux gaming device, like...
Oh, good news too. I'm going to the dentist today to get my what's it called? My impressions done. So, I'm like one step closer to finally getting my teeth. And then you guys won't have to listen to me talk like this anymore, like an idiot with a lisp. That's one thing, man. You never think about how many sounds you need your teeth to make. Like, what is it? The T sound? I can't make any T sounds or S sounds. Sean. Or is it street? Car. The lazy brown fox. This is not as bad as I thought. I think as my mouth is healing now, it is getting worse because it's like, it's hard to explain. It's like the bone is like shifting enough to where it's changing how far I can close my mouth and stuff. One thing I'm a little worried about is that they're going to do the impression today, but it doesn't seem like they're like, I don't know, it just doesn't seem like my gums are healed enough. Like, I thought they would have to be completely healed so that when they do the impression, that it fits like perfectly onto your gums. So like what happens if my gums heal more and then they make the freaking dentures and then they don't fit? Like, can they adjust that? Because I really hope so. But yeah, it's I'm so freaking excited. Um I don't know how long it takes to get the teeth actually made or the dentures made. Um I'm assuming it's gonna take a little while, but I just hope they like actually let me do like should have looked it up more. I don't know what the process is of getting like did they just decide on their own like what piece? Is it just like a generic type of teeth? Because like I feel like everybody has different shaped teeth. I want to like bring in a picture of myself, you know, before my teeth got real bad, just to show them like what they kind of like looked like, or like the shape, I guess. I don't know. I was thinking about asking them for vampire teeth. How cool would that be? Never mind. I'm joking. I'm not really joking, but I think that would be cool. So another thing is like the shade. I saw a little pamphlet in the office the last time, and it seemed like you could pick the actual shade of teeth. You know, let me see if I can open up a browser window and I can just search this shit. Um, I am gonna make this browser window not be able to see first because I've done that before and that didn't go well. All right, internet. Make source visible. Oh, there we go. All right, so we'll just have it on Google, I guess. Google.com. Control audio. Okay. Oh, oh, nice. Oh, you know what? Let me interact with it real quick. Oh, it's not going to show it. Okay. I'm assuming. Oh, please, God, don't be on something stupid. Oh, wait. Is I don't know why that's happening. That's actually kind of cool. What the fuck? What is going on? Ah, it fits perfectly. Look at that. All right. All right, let's see. So, okay, thank God. There's no. There's a couple weird things there, but that's from me watching YouTube last night. The Antwalkers of Hiroshima, man. I don't know how I got onto that. That is one of the saddest, most terrifying things I've ever watched in my entire life. Yeah. So, let's see. I probably shouldn't leave that open. I really need to learn how to like make this to where you can't see my information. Okay, whatever. Um, what was I looking up? Forgot what I was looking up. Oh, hey, what's up? Hi, Casey. Oh my God, we got 3 people watching. Wait, thank you for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that follow, subscribe button. Whoop, whoop. All right. I honestly forgot what I was doing. Oh, okay. Let's see. How do I pick adventures? Let's see. Adventure. Solid one. Oh, I can't. Oh no. I can't search. All right, never mind. How about now that people are actually watching, I do some painting and finish this video that I was doing. Okay. There we go. Uh, Anybody who's new, um, you will probably see an enormous amount of technical difficulties because okay, I think we're good. All right, let me continue this video. I'm gonna keep painting. How much? All right, we're about an hour in right now. Um, Probably gonna stream for a little bit more. But what's up, Casey? Thank you for joining.
The Steam Deck is based on AMD Radeon. So this is something that Valve is doing just for the good of the community, not necessarily just to benefit themselves on hardware devices, or it could be a hint at SteamOS coming out for regular gaming PCs and they're gonna support NVIDIA GPUs. I'd love to see it. But we also got more Steam news because a well-known Valve enthusiast who's kind of always digging through the archives of trying to find out what Valve's doing in the hardware sector found out that the Steam Controller 2, codenamed Ibex, is apparently going into mass production. Now, this is different than the more recently released Steam controller that was co-produced by Hori. That's a separate thing. This looks to be a new Steam controller like the one that had those haptic touchpads, kind of similar to what we see on the Steam Deck right now. The original Steam controller didn't really go over well. They fire saled it for $5 back in the day. Maybe now with the success of the Steam Deck, we could see a little bit higher adoption rates, or they figured things out with ergonomics to make the Steam Controller 2 more betterer and something that people want around. But also with this indication, there was some discussion of the upcoming Deckard headset, which is going to be Valve's standalone VR headset. It's in development is what we know about it right now. And we also know that NVIDIA is in development on their upcoming gaming GPUs, the RTX 50 series. We're expecting a debut at CES, and now we're getting details out from Lenovo that you shouldn't necessarily expect that they're gonna get cheaper, especially if you're looking at the budget side of things. So this is a Lenovo rep talking about the mobile RTX 5050, specifically saying that the RTX 4050 is not going out of production. So the 5050 won't be taking the 4050's price point, and instead it's gonna be a higher price, probably something more akin to where the 4060 is lying right now, is where the 5050 is going to come in. So that's a general idea that we're seeing.
I gotta say, they really need to just restart their naming scheme with a completely different thing, because it just sounds stupid now.
Here is that NVIDIA might hike up the price when it comes to not just the gaming GPUs on desktop. There's been rumors that have been floating around recently that the RTX 5090 should cost roughly, I think it was $1799. I don't necessarily trust the rumor that led to that being produced on the news. So I wouldn't necessarily hold that one in your heart, especially because as EVGA told us, NVIDIA changes things at the last second. So even if the 5090 right now is speculated to be $1799, that doesn't mean that's what they're going to launch with. They could change that the day before and make it more expensive or less expensive. But it appears on the budget side of things, there's going to be a price bump, a class price bump to the 5050, which is a bummer for everybody involved. And you guys were pretty involved with yesterday's episode of Hot News by typing in the comments. So let's see what you said. A lot of people addressing the Microsoft 365 link thin client nonsense. I mean, a lot of people saying that it's ridiculously expensive. A Raspberry Pi 5 would give you more utility. It's a solution looking for a problem. It's a privacy nightmare. They don't want us to own our devices. They want us to rent them. I think we're all kind of on the same page there. You either can go lower end on the price point to something like a Raspberry Pi to make it so that you're spending way less money than $350, or if you just spend like $150 more, you're getting an M4 Mac Mini that's so much more capable even on a local side of things. And so the 365 link is just, it's a very niche product. I think there's probably a business out there who's like, this solves their problem and it's fantastic for them, but for the regular consumer and for Microsoft to just...
Yeah, it seems like something that they made, like, I don't know, it just seems like a mini computer that they made like years ago, and then they just took the internals out and made it a cloud computer. Like, weren't these things called, like, they had a certain name. I think it was like ThinBook? Thin something. Or something book? Man, I can't remember what it was called. It wasn't a cloud PC, because I know they didn't want to call it that. They wanted to call it something like unique, so it was its own thing. Saying something.
Like publicly announce this as if it's an exciting new entry, I think it misses the mark. Then we got Maddie saying AMD advanced mobile devices, and King saying I do like AMD in the phones to boost gaming performance compared to the Snapdragon series since the phone gaming is evolving. And I hear that, but as a lot of other people pointed out, this is not AMD's first foray into gaming GPUs on mobile. So Snapdragon has the Adreno GPU. That's because AMD sold them the rights to that. And Adreno is just an anagram of Radeon. So that's Qualcomm's already using AMD technology, Samsung licensed.
Oh, Thin Client. Thin Client. I don't think that's the name of the computer, but that's kind of. Oh, Jesus Christ. Now I gotta look up the name of it. Like, what that actually means. Hold on. Thin Client. Is it lean client or lean client? Simple computer that has been optimized for establishing a remote connection with server-based computing environment. They are sometimes known as network computers or zero clients. Interesting. So, basically a cloud computer.
RDNA 2 for their Exynos. So like AMD has already got its fingers in the pie. Obviously the Adreno is like so far detached from where AMD sold that off way back when, so it's not the same thing, but it's just funny that AMD continually tries to get into the phone market, which kind of gives the indication that they're trying to get into it again, a little bit more veracity in its truthiness. And we got Nicholas saying, I'm not always here, just often, and often on the Twitch channel where I can get some peek on some eventual short videos and how the B-rolls are made. Nicholas, thank you for shouting out our Twitch channel. We do have our Bleed Purple statue that Twitch gave us. We are currently running a giveaway for a Thermaltake Tower 600 PC with a 9950X and a 4080 Super. So if you want a PC like this, you should come check us out on Twitch, twitch.tv/UFD Tech.
What do we got for for subs on YouTube? I should probably check that. We had 7. KC was coming from YouTube, so maybe I don't know why this doesn't work anymore. This link, oh fuck! This link to the oh my god, everything's opening. Ah! Oh. Let's see. View your channel. Boop, 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 boop. We still have 7 subscribers. No. Oh well. Come on, lucky number stream number 23. Can we get 6 followers? That's all I'm looking for today. What is she talking? Huh? Hold on. Hold on. I've got some technical difficulties here, baby. Just I should get my mom to follow. I really was trying not to get anybody like in my life, like locally or like personally. But fuck it. I don't know why I'm so scared of that. All right. Let's see what we got. YouTube browser. Did I finish the video? Yeah. All right, let's see. If anybody is in the chat, any videos you guys want me to throw on while I'm painting? I'd rather not react to somebody else reacting. I feel like that's a little too much. If a weapons dealer made a Game Boy. Okay, let's do that.
Riddle me this. If Adobe VR nerd turned controversial arms dealer were to make a game console, what game console would he make? Wonder no more, for I have the answer inside this basic JanSport backpack. It is the mod Retro Chromatic from Palmer Luckey, perhaps best known for his role in the creation of the Oculus Rift. Its features include enjoying a family of newly created games on chromatic cartridges, as well as remastered versions of your favorite classics. It is compatible with original Game Boy and Game Boy Color cartridges, and it has a bright enough screen that you can use it, yes, my friends, outside. But before we get to this, I want to have a look at this Lisa Frank-esque Tiger Folio. Oh, wow. That's their reviewer's guide. Lisa Frank, that's that brand that made the super bright colored stationery back in the 90s? Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, she made so
Hi
much
there.
money on that shit.
We hope this feels like Christmas morning when you were a kid. How old is Palmer Luckey? Is he even old enough to have had a Game Boy as a kid? The history of gaming. Grade level 6th to 8th grade. This is a very cute reviewer's guide. They don't really expect me to do all this work though, do they? Is there anything else in here? Does it come with this backpack? Is that part of the whole like first edition thing? Okay. Well, we're not sure. Let's have a look at this thing. It's bundled with Chromatic Tetris, which is apparently a recreation of the original Tetris, and it comes with a sapphire glass display cover.
That looks exactly like a Game Boy Color.
Does feel markedly higher quality than the scuffable plastic that was on the original Game Boy.
Oh,
wow,
clearly.
the chassis. Ooh, it is amazing how the material choice affects the feel of a device, okay? So you go from cheap devices, which use plastic and are kind of down here, to like premium devices, which use stainless steel or aluminum and feel like this, to more exotic metals that feel more like plastic. It uses a magnesium alloy chassis that makes it, I wouldn't say light, because anytime you've got 3 AA batteries in something, it's not gonna be especially light, but it feels light-ish, and it's not cold to the touch.
Wait, what?
You've got a USB-C.
They have it running on... Why would they continue to have it run on AAAs? That's just dumb. Cause like, I don't know, another fun fact about me is that when vaping started taking off, I was like, you want to talk about an early adopter? The second I saw something about vaping and like quitting smoking, it was actually kind of funny. I really wish I could remember how long ago it was, but I remember me trying to quit smoking and buying a gas station e-cig that was like the one that looks like a cigarette, and it was like one of the most horrendous things I have ever tasted in my life. And I tried using it and it just wasn't doing it, you know? So the more I looked it up, I think I want to say I came across Indoor Smokers channel, and he's still doing videos. Like, shout out to him. He was like, him and Rip Trippers, and Grim Green's still doing his thing, I see. Like, especially Grim Green. I was actually like I went to a vape convention and I was too scared to go up to him to talk to him, because that's how much of like a celebrity he looked like to me in my eyes. Now looking back on that, I think that's kind of silly, but whenever you have like a group of people who are all into the same thing, you're always gonna have people at the top of that group, you know? Anyway, I don't know where you're going with that, but basically I was like an early adopter, so some of the devices that I would get were like legitimately modded flashlights. Like actual like homemade flashlights, because that was like a whole thing on itself with people who used to make modded flashlights. Oh, okay. And so I ended up starting to get really into vaping. I ended up buying my first like pen style vape that had a little tiny tank, and the worst juice I've ever had in my life of this like orange creamsicle stuff. And it took me forever to even know what it was called, like the mod, atomizer, and then it just spiraled out of control after that. When I get into something, I have the most addictive personality. So most of the time when I get into something, I will push it until I can't anymore, basically. Like I'll start collecting stuff until I basically have the best of anything, or I have so much of it that like, yeah. So basically I have two giant cases in the other room, filled with old vape stuff. Old atomizers, mods, freaking everything you can imagine. I have so many atomizers that I want to and drippers that I want to I was actually thinking about because I don't think there's a channel out there that has done anything about the history of vaping and like the history of a lot of these small companies that did crazy stuff. Like nobody realizes how much these small companies and modders pushed the vape industry to be something that's more that basically pushed it to mainstream. Unfortunately, it got so mainstream that the FDA's dumbass came in and basically was like, "No, you can't do that. You can only have tobacco flavored e-juice." Why? Oh, because it appeals to children. You mean like birthday cake flavored vodka? What? So I never understood that. Luckily, in Connecticut, it is still legal, so I'm able to go to a vape shop down there and get my stuff. But yeah, it ruined so many small businesses, so many small vape shops. At least in Massachusetts, what ended up happening to most of these vape shops is that they just transitioned into becoming dispensaries, weed dispensaries, which works out for them because I feel like they're making more money now. But a lot of places had to go out of business and like or move, and it's just sad because if you looked at England, and I'm pretty sure they still are like this, at the time that the FDA was banning it here, they were putting up like billboards and posters all over the place saying vaping is 95% safer than smoking cigarettes. You know, only has 3 ingredients as opposed to thousands of chemicals in cigarette smoke and all this stuff. And then I don't know, it just got to the point where now like people don't believe anything about it. Think that it's worse than cigarettes, which is crazy to me. And then you got people who are getting addicted to it straight from not even smoking cigarettes. Like that's the thing I don't agree with is like you shouldn't be vaping if you never like the whole point of vaping is to quit cigarettes or have a safer alternative. That's what it is. A safer alternative to cigarettes. You know, it's not 100% safe, but it's a enormous amount safer than cigarettes. Um, and I'm sure people are going to come at me for that. So I will try to link some of the studies in the. Anyway, that rant is over. Um,
Report at the bottom is
Actually, I'm probably going to take a bathroom break in about 5 minutes. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take a bathroom break now. Um, I will be right back. I'm going to throw my mic off and just throw my be right back screen up, okay? Be right back. So let me type it in the chat too. All right, bathroom. BRB. All right. Scenes, re-intro, audio, off. Oh, we back, baby. Oh, all right. Sorry about that. Couple of smoking in the bathroom. All right, let's get back to the video.
As well as a headphone jack, this USB-C port apparently supports video out. And speaking of video, one of the most special things about the device is that the resolution of the display matches the original Game Boy, meaning that you're not going to get any approximations of the original pixel art. It should be absolutely perfect. We've got support for the link cable, which is possible because they're using an FPGA recreation of the original processor. We've got a couple of wrist strap loops here, depending on whether you prefer to apply it on the left or the right-hand side. We've got a volume button. There's a menu button on the side right here. Your traditional A, B, select, start, and D-pad. Oh, D-pad feels pretty good. Up at the top, we've got our power switch as well as an IR transceiver. So it's kind of a mashup of original Game Boy features and Game Boy Color features. So if you want to trade your Pokemon, it'll, I guess, depend on what generation of game you're using. Oh, there is one thing I didn't mention under the battery cover. These are rechargeable batteries. Oh, they're not. It comes with alkaline battery. Really, at this price? It comes with alkaline batteries? It's funny, Palmer says that this was a passion project. He's losing money on this thing. But at 220 bucks, I don't know. If this is a custom screen, it's possible. But it could also just be a clever sales tactic. I wouldn't put it past the guy. Anyway, apparently if you replace these with nickel metal hydrides, they can charge inside the device using the USB-C port, which is actually kind of a nice feature. Oh, that's a really nice rubber battery retention thing. It does feel very premium. The issue is that it also costs premium. We've got some comparison devices we're gonna be looking at in a moment here. Anyway, inside we've got chromatic Tetris,
Man, my nails are
looks an awful lot like a Tetris cart. Made in Mexico, as well as a cute little Tetris complication. Isn't that what Apple calls them? Like cute little things? Yeah, charms, that's the word I'm looking for. Charming. Oh, look at that, there's a quick start guide there. Let's fire it up, and let's also meet the contenders. After this segue to our sponsor, Hohem. Their portable iSteady V3 gimbal makes filming on your phone a whole lot easier with nifty features like using AI to ensure you have consistently centered shots and a fill light with 3 different color temperatures to keep things clear even in low light. And of course, since it's a gimbal, you can use it handheld with the extension rod, or you can set it up in tripod mode and control it with a detachable remote. Plus, the Hohem Joy app offers tailored recommendations for camera movement and techniques based on popular scenes. So check it out at the link in the video description. All right, what do we got here? We got the original Game Boy. Boy, does it ever look bulky compared to, well, everything else. We've got a Game Boy Pocket.
How much did I miss the line?
It's a little bigger than the Pocket. We've also got the Analog Pocket. I can't tell you who's gonna win, but it's gonna be the Pocket.
Wow,
and then we've got, oh, what was this thing called again? Funny Playing Game Boy. This was that one that we built here on Short Circuit with the little kit. All right, what do we start with? I mean, I guess we gotta start with their included Tetris game. Let's give it a shot. All right. Apparently they worked with Koss on color matched headphones, but I don't have those, so we're gonna use the built-in speaker. Well, the speaker's a lot better than the original Game Boy, I'll tell you that much already, without even listening to them side by side. I don't even know what the different modes mean, to be honest with you. I was never into Tetris, which is about to become super apparent. Yeah, so up does that. Yeah, I don't even really know the controls, so there's that. How do I, oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, sure. Oh yeah, sorry, button feel. Yeah, button feel. Button feel seems good. Oh, that was not a good move. Please don't judge me too harshly. I need, yes, I need the stick. Hey, there we go. I'm sorry, am I supposed to be making a video? 0 complaints, nice and tactile. Say what you will about Palmer Luckey.
Motherfucker.
If he built the device for himself, he cared about it. Oops, I might have created another dependency. But I got it right away. I can't wait for the comment section on this video. Just be like, is Linus Ethan a gamer? The answer is no. Oh my God, they come so fast. I need the stick. Yes, I got the stick. It's too hard. That's the best I could do. Great button feel.
do I
The
keep going
sound,
to that
even
same
though I had it
spot?
turned down, is awesome compared to the original Game Boy. Dude, very,
falling
very
into a valley.
playable. Let's try their weird recreation cartridge in another console. Okay, what are the odds this works? Because clearly if it's an FPGA device, it should be basically functionally a Game Boy, but it also clearly isn't functionally a Game Boy. It's got the menu button, it's got the IR thing and stuff, so. Remember when I said the speaker was better on the Mod Retro?
Alright, I'm gonna have to go.
You can kind of make it out.
Anyway.
I don't remember the Game Boy being this bad.
I probably should
I
go
think our
during
Game
the
Boy
break and
is
do
has
things
seen better
now that
days,
I'm looking
which is
at it.
honestly part of the reason that devices like this are so popular. Because even if you wanted the original experience, it's degraded so much in some cases that that original experience might not really exist. It's shocking to me how much better the speakers can sound firing down into your palm as opposed to toward your face, but really can. Really, really can. Okay, so that's the Game Boy.
I forgot to
That's
update the
clearly
chat.
not winning our challenge
eye.
today. Why don't we try this guy?
With the check.
All right,
oh,
Funny Playing, you're up. All other things being equal, I would absolutely take the Chromatic, but all other
Wait.
things are not equal. And the Chromatic is over double the price. If I just wanted to tool around and play Game Boy games, because I think that's something that we have to kind of be honest with ourselves. Are we gonna sit down and like play this game like the way we used to when we were kids, where we're gonna play it for hours every week? No, probably not. Some people, yes, obviously, there's people that are still very, very into Tetris. But most people, this is a novelty purchase, you know what I mean? The screen is another drawback to this device.
and for that
it's
much money.
definitely not as bright, it's not as vibrant. However, once again, is it vibranter and brighter enough that I'd be willing to pay double for the Chromatic? That's tough. Oh my God. Yep, block out. Okay, you know what? I wanna see the Chromatic at max brightness real quick here. Dude. One of the design goals was apparently to make it playable outside, which is something that the original Game Boy really struggled with. Man, I'm usually kind of a just emulate it guy, but I gotta say, the resolution matched display really does make the old pixel art look better. I was
crazy
not
with
expecting
outlines,
to
too.
notice that big of a difference. Again, whether we're talking brightness or button feel or whatever, double the price,
wonder what
that's
it
a
looks
tall
like in this
order,
camera.
but it is better. Let's go for something a little more different. It looks like it's like artificially smoothed or something, you know?
Man, that
yeah, it really
freaking
does not look
camera
as
is
good.
so crappy.
Now, I could fix a lot of what looks kind of nasty about this with
like no
filters,
color.
but it's not the same. It's never gonna be quite the same. Let's try some filters on this display. It's high enough resolution that theoretically that should more closely approximate the original console.
What's so
The
itchy?
buttons also still aren't as good. That's something that the Mod Retro team absolutely nailed. The buttons. They are really, really good. With that said, am I actually having any less fun right now? No. Yeah, so far, man, there's no real question for me. At this price, I would just get an Analog Pocket because then I can play more than just Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. Did I mention that? This thing only plays Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. And then, you know, some re-releases. They say there's
Oh,
some
shit, I
new
didn't know
releases
that it's
coming,
going
games that were
autofocus
like
again.
canceled toward the end of the life of the original Game Boy. Okay, how about the original Pocket? Man, that sound. It is cool that these work in the original consoles, which I guess is pretty cool for someone who wants to buy the re-releases and then actually play them in a Game Boy. Man, it really doesn't help that it's a little chilly in the studio. You can see when I move it down, it's like, the poor LCD is like, Let's try a different game. What do we want to play? What should I play? All right, Super Mario Land, let's go.
Afro.
That's, it's not a very good interface. It says 3-to-1 as the opposite of whatever it is that you can't tell if you're 3-to-1ing anything. Wow, you can see it actually like slows down a little bit sometimes, just like the original hardware would. Authentic lag. Whatever, I got this. Easy.
Maybe if I put a like
And I'm
label
dead.
or something.
Time for a Game Boy Color game. Oh man, this little nubbin on the back, I understand why they had to do it because this is made of metal, so you can't just have a little like flexible tab. but that sits like right where I want my finger or my pinky. I mean, yeah, I could work around it, but it's not my favorite. Looks real good. I'm not really sure what else there is to say about it at this point. If what you want is a machine that does absolutely nothing but play Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games with much greater fidelity than the original Game Boy or Game Boy Color, then that's pretty cool. You can get one of these. It's as true to the original consoles while also being better than the original consoles as you can get, thanks to that display. However, if you're willing to compromise on a few things and you like getting benefits for that, the Analog Pocket really is a way more compelling option. I mean, it's got a bigger screen. It's also very bright, even if it's not quite as bright. It's got compatibility for way more game systems, including original cartridge compatibility, which is one of the things that's nice about the Mod Retro. And if you want to spend half as much, this is a very compelling option too from Funny Playing. Like, I'd play on this. Does it really matter? Not to me. To you it might. Subscribe to Short Circuit.
Oh crap, I think I hear the toilet. That toilet is like insane. Something seriously wrong with that thing. It's crazy once you can see when it switches cameras on my phone. How does it look when I'm like zoomed all the way in? Oh, actually, what if I zoom all the way in and then focus it? Actually, that's pretty damn focused. Ooh, okay. Oh, that's crazy. I mean, it is only like 12 inches from the freaking. Oh, that's so much better. Okay, now I don't know why I didn't even think of that. They taught me that in film school. Obviously, zoom all the way in, focus. Well, actually, in film school, we pulled focus all the time. You know, like with like focus rings and had timing and everything. It's so crazy that like what most people don't even realize how like movies are made, how just like not connected they are to anything. Like it is actually pretty impressive to see how an actor can make a performance with little to nothing around them and everything being fake. And then you see it like after the final processes and stuff, and it's just amazing what they can do. And nowadays, I can't even imagine. Like I went to film school in 2009. Yeah, 2000. It was like either 2008 to 2010. I think that sounds about right. I lived out in Waltham, Massachusetts, and went to school at the Center of Digital Imaging Arts at Boston University. And I learned all about film. It was actually a really cool school. It doesn't exist anymore, but it basically taught everything about filmmaking, digital filmmaking. I think it was one of the first schools to be all digital. Like it wasn't there was no film cameras and we didn't really study that. We used all sort like and it was actually really cool because it wasn't like a normal college where you were like going to do, you know, fucking English class and stuff like that, or like academic classes. The way they did it was every oh shit. I don't know who that was, but every week I would do. Every week was a class, I believe. Sorry, it's been a while. Um, yeah, every week was a class, and it would like rotate. So like, let's say we started out with. Hmm, okay. Okay, we started out with script writing one, okay, and we did that for a week, and then it would be lighting one, did that for a week, and then it would be camera one, that for a week, and it would just basically go through all these different things, directing, um, so camera, audio, lighting, directing, script writing, scheduling, managing, um, all sorts of stuff. And so we would do those for a week, and then it would cycle back around. So then it would go to like lighting two, and then directing two, and then editing two. And so it would be, and that's how it worked. And it was actually really cool. I made a lot of cool friends there. And I lived in a pretty dope apartment by myself, but I was such an introvert back then that like I just stayed in my apartment the whole time and basically just hung out with like one or two other people. But it was pretty good. I learned so much about filmmaking and I wish I stuck with it, but I never really looked farther into it, but my whole plan was like I loved the show Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. And I was like, dude, if I could ever be a cameraman for a show like that, as weird as that sounds, because he was always going into like the grossest places, but I don't know, just seeing like his camaraderie with like his cameraman and like the his director and stuff was really cool. And I wanted to do something like that. I wanted to be part of like a little like group of people that like traveled and did like a TV show. So I don't know. I thought that would have been really cool. And then, I mean, even in high school, me and my friends did tons of short films and stuff like that. On my YouTube channel, actually, there is one short film from a couple years ago, but it was, yeah, it was a lot of fun. But I think one of the key things that I really took from going to film school was editing. I mean, I probably don't know anything about how to use it now, but we were trained in Final Cut Pro, and at the time, I went full on into that, which is crazy because like what I wanted to do was camera work. Like that was my thing. Like I wanted to be a cameraman, if anything. But once I started learning how to edit, I was like, damn, you literally control so much shit with editing. Like you can literally change the entire course and flow of a movie, you know? So I really gravitated towards that. And like, over the years I lost all of it and like stuff like that. But now that I'm doing this, it's funny because I was never actually great on camera. Like I always would crack up or like get really embarrassed, but I don't know if it's from being older now or just being a different person. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I feel pretty comfortable talking to the camera or talking to people now, at least online. Um, but yeah, now that I've been like editing, especially the intros and outros that I've been doing on this, even the background right there, like figuring that all out myself and like learning how to do that was like awesome. and have it work. Like, obviously, if you've been around since uh the big guy, actually, shout out to him. He's been around since the very beginning, and he has seen my wonderful tech skills. I'm pretty good at tech, but like, man, streaming has some crazy stuff with it that is just added on complexity. And then you forget which company you're linked to, and oh man. But for the most part, I think I've got it ironed out. I have a whole bunch of ideas of like stuff I want to do for streams now. Um, but what are we at right now? Damn, we're almost at 2 hours. I think about, I don't know which number stream it was, but I went for like 3 hours, I think, or maybe it was 2.5 hours. But I couldn't believe how long I had been on. It didn't even feel like it because I don't know. I actually enjoy doing this. Ba, 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 ba. Man, the outline on this is like, oh, it's making it come out so good. I wish the camera could pick this up better. Really hard to see. I think after I do this last segment here, I'm gonna stop and uh take the camera and just like hold it and zoom in and show like kind of what I did because it's really hard to see with these small lines that I'm doing. But I definitely need to touch up the green. The green in this section needs to be done again, I think, over, yeah, or, yeah. And then, I don't know, I think I want to put, because I had this idea to make this more geometric that I could, all right, for instance, I could take where these the yellow and orange segments are and take that green that I painted for the outline on it and make it go that way, and another one across. And it would look like it's built. I feel like that would really make it 3D. That is something I struggle with immensely is getting um the image that's in my brain onto the canvas. It is extremely hard. And it's very frustrating too, because like I have an image in my head of I mean I'm sure this happens to everybody, but you have an image of your head in your head of exactly how you want it. And when your like body or skill is just not enough, it's quite frustrating. But damn, that looks sick. All right. Oh, whoops. All right. All righty. So let's see. All right. Put up my thing. All right. Is this? Oh, hold on. I'm gonna turn the focus to auto. It's really hard to see. Oh, but this is the contraption that I use to hold my phone. Yeah, hold on. Whoops. So yeah. So what I basically did, I started doing today was oh man, that was weird. Is doing the outlines of all the segments. So like the blue there, pink, the green going around that. And I got up to this part here. I'm gonna have to do some touch ups and stuff like that, but like I said before, this is the painting that is the representation of the Fibonacci sequence. So damn, I wish I had this memorized. I gotta get this like tattooed on me or something. But it's 0, 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, I think 13, 21, 36, 54, 80 something, I think. I have to like actually memorize that, but yeah, dude, this is actually looking pretty cool. I'm actually happy with it. At first, when I was doing the before the outlines, I was like, doesn't look that great. Ooh, that looks cool with the fisheye. I like the wide angle. Shit, I should have just painted it like that. It almost does look better with the wide angle. Okay. Oh, that was weird. Hold on. Yeah, I definitely need a tripod or something, or like something that would work better, like that thing that was on the Linus's sponsorship thing. Nope. Oh, well, that was pretty cool. All right. Okay. Whoa. All right. So oh, I am going to sign off for now. Jesus. And I will see you guys later today. I think we might do a Minecraft stream with my daughter again. So possibly look forward to that. But right now I need to get ready to go. So I will talk to you later. All right. Check out the outro, and don't forget, if you follow on my Twitch, you will get your name in the outro. Unfortunately, I cannot see subscriber names on YouTube. I wish I could. I don't know why they don't do that, but I'm gonna stop talking. All right, peace.